shift was long, but...
Ah, Knight. You have technical documents, perhaps?
Treat your power armor well, and it can get you through anything.
Joining our cause was the wisest decision of your life, sister.
There. That should
I
hold.
can't believe super mutants were human once.
Worry about them
How
getting
could
out.
science have gone so wrong?
Your concerns are nothing, Scribe.
Never
Your Proctor
forget,
Ingram might
you
next.
are the eyes and the ears of the Brotherhood.
Proctor Ingram said she needed this suit tested yesterday.
Yeah, I get it. Just, what if I miss?
Don't.
Okay, sure. Firing.
Feeling a bit nostalgic?
Everything holding together?
Trust me, you'd know.
Good. Firing.
Thanks, Initiative.
Sure. Anytime. Thank God.
Taking on a death blow without backup is a great way to get yourself killed.
I wish we could arm the Pridwin. But Ingram says...
Sir.
Now that you've familiarized yourself with the Prigman's crew, are you ready for your next assignment, sister?
What sort of assignment are we talking about?
The kind of assignment where all of the training you've done finally begins to pay off. Let's get right to it then. Shall we? Take a look over there. That's Fort Strong. And it's infested with super mutants. Having those aberrations of nature close enough to smell is making me sick to my stomach. To make matters worse, they're sitting on top of a massive stockpile of Fat Man shells we could use in our campaign. I want you to head over there, wipe out everything that moves, and secure that stockpile. Understood?
What do these shells do?
The Fat Man launcher is an essential part of the Brotherhood arsenal. It's a miniature nuclear payload, in a man-portable format. A squad of troops armed with one of these is virtually unstoppable. If you ever have the pleasure of firing one of them, allow me to give you a word of advice. Don't fire one of them in close quarters. There won't be enough of you to bury in a shoebox. That enough to go on?
Super mutants. I thought the enemy was the Institute.
Super mutants are no better than Sens. They're a reminder of man's folly when it comes to harnessing technology. Whether it's using biochemistry to manipulate genes, or trying to create life from a bunch of circuits. It's the wrong path for science. As members of the Brotherhood, it's our sworn duty to exterminate these abominations in every form. So, can I count on you to get the job done?
Consider it done.
Look, I realize you're eager to take the fight to the Institute, but it'll have to wait. The Brotherhood cannot allow those abominations to have a nuclear arsenal at their fingertips.
It'll be a pleasure to exterminate that mutant filth.
Now, we have a vertibird on standby, fully armed and ready to depart. Use it to carry our message to Fort Strong, and wipe those dirty mutants from the face of the earth. Dismissed.
If you have a moment, there's something I'd like to discuss with you.
Of course. What's on your mind?
Thank you. This isn't a formal meeting. I simply want to clear the air. I think we may have gotten off on the wrong foot when we first met, and I feel like I owe you an apology. Expecting you to embrace the standards of the Brotherhood without having a history with us was unfair. And given that you've adjusted so well to our beliefs, I don't think I needed to push so hard.
kind. Thank you.
Well, you deserve it. When I was an initiate, my sponsor was Paladin Krieg, toughest squad leader I ever served with. He was a model soldier, embodying the values every trainee was striving to achieve. Fiercely loyal, secure in his beliefs, and brave to a fault. From the moment I was assigned to his squad, I was singled out. It felt like he was pushing me harder than the rest of the team. I fought by his side for years, and we had some seriously close calls. But he never explained to me why I was treated that way.
Did you ever ask him why?
I'd considered it, but unfortunately, I never had the chance. After I was promoted to Paladin, and I'd moved on to my own squad, I received word that Krieg was killed at Adams Air Force Base. The news was like being kicked in the stomach. I mean, I'd lost some of my brothers and sisters before, but his death, well, it really got to me. It's taken me a long time to realize it. But the reason Krieg was so tough on me is the same reason I'm so tough on you. It's because I believe in you. And I don't want to see any of your potential go to waste.
I'm flattered that you have so much faith in me.
You've earned that faith by your own hand. Well, I've said what I had to say, and I hope that it meant something to you. I trust you'll keep this in confidence, of course. Some of that information was of a personal nature, and, well, I'd like to keep it that way.
Liberating the Commonwealth is a huge responsibility. We'll get the job done.
Death from above. It's the only way to fly.
Welcome aboard, Knight. Instruments are green, and we're cleared for release.
Having the Prydwen moored above the airport keeps the Brotherhood within striking distance of the city.
Target acquired. I'll try and keep him in your sights. Primary target down. Look at this thing bleed. I'm gonna find a place to set her down and then hightail it back to the Prydwen for repairs.
This isn't safe at all. We need to find cover as soon as possible. Quite a bit of trash to pick through here. Searching through it could prove beneficial.
So boring.
Keep your safety off.
Who's that?
Whoever or whatever created this mess might still be around.
Gonna splatter your
Hear that?
brains! I'm going to die!
It's cold.
Out there! Somewhere!
Safety's off! Fire!
I'm happy to be able to deliver a little bit
That's how we do it in the Brotherhood. Nice.
Stand still!
Back to hell.
Got it. Excellent.
All right. Hopefully there's something useful here. I can't do that. It's secured. Judging from the amount of dust present, it's safe to assume we're the first people to investigate this location in quite a while.
Hey,
Need something?
excuse me, Paladin Dance.
What do you want?
What are your thoughts on our relationship?
I'm not sure right now. Perhaps you should ask me that later.
Didn't have anything else.
Affirmative. This area seems to be in disarray. This is recent. Watch your step. There's quite a bit of debris here. If you keep hoarding that garbage, you're going to slow us down. This area seems to be in disarray. I wonder if this is recent. We should go. Not getting past me. Look at this place. You must hate these mutants as much as I do.
Why do you hate super mutants so much?
They're responsible for the death of a close friend, a Brotherhood knight named Cutler. So when you ask if I hate them, I say hate's too gentle a word. These monstrosities are just another example of man blindly taking a step forward, only to wind up stumbling 2 steps back. I've been fighting for years, trying to put a stop to this madness. And just when I thought we were getting the upper hand, along come the synths. I've seen what these super mutants do to people. Can you imagine what the synths would do to us if they ever got the upper hand? It would be Armageddon repeated, and maybe the end of everything that we hold dear. Look, I don't mean to bore you with my rhetoric. I just want you to understand how important these missions are.
How could synths bring about our destruction?
If the synths reached the point where they outnumbered mankind, how long would it take for them to decide we were no longer necessary? They certainly possess the capability to make more of their own kind, so we'd become expendable. And with Institute technology on their side, nothing could stop them. Not even the Brotherhood. It's a nightmare scenario almost too terrible to contemplate. Anyway, that's enough of that. What's important here is that you got the job done and secured these warheads. You should head back up to the Prydwen and talk to Maxon. I'm sure he'll want to debrief you as soon as possible. Dismissed.
You know those synths with the plastic faces? They creep me to hell. Outstanding work at Fort Strong, soldier.
It was an honor fighting for the Brotherhood.
I'm glad you feel that way, because our mission here has only just begun. In order to bring the Institute to its knees, we need to use every weapon at our disposal. I try to supply my soldiers with the best. That's why I'm giving you these. Signal grenades can call a vertibird to your location when you need aerial transport. Simply throw one to the ground, and the vertibird will hone in on the unique electromagnetic smoke it emits. Once you're aboard, use the map on your Pip-Boy to interface with the pilot's navigation system. so he'll be able to take you wherever you need.
Will the vertibird stay and help me fight?
I'm afraid I can't spare a fully armed gunship for this task. A standard transport will have to suffice. Of course, nothing stopping you from using the door gun while in flight.
Where can I get more signal grenades?
I'd use the supply I gave you sparingly. These devices are far more complex than a standard smoke grenade. Should you need more, you should acquire them from Proctor Tegan.
Thank you, Elder. I'll make good use of them.
I expect that you will. Now, I'm sure you're aware that Fort Strong was simply the first step towards the liberation of the Commonwealth. An even greater task lies ahead. You're not getting another assignment until Fort Strong has been secured.
Elder Maxon?
I'm occupied at the moment. We'll speak later.
It's a dangerous place. Make sure you gear up before you head out.
Don't let Ingram catch you standing around.
Excuse me.
Unless you like getting shot, never turn your back on a gunner.
The Prydwen is a magnificent ship, and we're lucky to have her in our arsenal. There's no time to waste when there's work to be done.
If Dumb and Ugly had a child, it'd be a super mutant.
This is our supply depot. Unless you're here on official business, I need
I heard that Elder Maxon got... Attention! This is a reminder. All recovered technology must be presented immediately to Proctor Quinlan for evaluation.
It sounds like we owe you our gratitude.
Anyone found in possession of undocumented technologies will be subject to inquiry and punishment.
Did you have any documents for me? Or perhaps you were interested in aiding a research patrol?
I found some technical documents for you.
These will prove interesting. I'll file them immediately. Here are the caps that I promised. Remember, the Commonwealth is an almost unlimited source for these technical documents. Check every building you explore during your patrols very carefully, and you might be pleasantly surprised at what you find.
Proctor Quinlan.
Ah, Knight. You have
I found some technical
These aren't...
Right?
I don't have time for game.
Ad Victoriam, sister.
If you find any technical documents, you should bring them
That's
to
a self-service,
Proctor Quinlan
sister.
for analysis.
You take what you need.
Welcome aboard, sister.
Paxton might appear compassionate, but I can assure you, the Institute will face his wrath.
Hail, Knight.
In my
The Brotherhood's
experience,
got a lifetime
hotshots and
supply
big
of
mouths
nuclear
end up
ordnance
with
thanks
closed
to you.
casket funerals.
I expect you could...
Let me see what you have.
Got some choice.
Quinlan?
Ah, night. You have
Do you have any idea?
offices, laboratory, I try search. Have you had any luck finding any yet?
I've got time to assist on a...
Good. You'll rendezvous. The patrol is a success once you've returned the scribe with the data. 0 casualties, of course.
Strong something to think about.
I don't know about Scribe Naraya.
You got
I think she loves her little zoo a bit too
research
much.
patrol.
Babysitting dudes.
What? What'd you get?
Vanguard.
You're kidding.
Moving out in advanced rotation. I'll try to leave a couple of Ready, ma'am?
Let's do this.
Roger that. I'll mark the location on your map. After you, ma'am.
Ad victorious! Intruder alert!
Another victory for the brother. Huh?
Nice try! Heads up, we're dark.
Who's there?
backups and keeping the grid one running?
Attention. Delta Team Lead, report to the bridge. Delta Team Lead to the
Finished
bridge.
your mission?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Here's something for your considerable troubles. We'll be sending out scribes again soon, so check back if you can lend a hand.
Neither. Not right now.
That's unfortunate.
Laser weapons myself. It's a cleaner shot, leaves that memorable ozone smell behind.
Nice. Sweet.
Threat analysis. Yellow alert. Hostile detected. Force mobilized for all units.
Don't let Maxon's age fool you. He's a brilliant tactician and an experienced soldier.
Nothing to report right now, Knight.
Yeah? Need something?
What do you need?
What's going on?
General?
What do you need?
Sun goes
What's
down,
going on?
Can it
crazies
wait?
come out. Let me know if there's anything I can do to lighten the load. Or, you know, if you need anything proofread.
Piper.
Heading my way?
Sure, let's go.
Will do.
Need something?
What? You ask me. Freedom's always worth fighting for.
Where to?
I'd kill for a
course.
drink. Come to think of it, I have.
Shoot.
Hey.
What can I do?
I'm sorry. I wouldn't be very good company right now.
What are you up in that hammer and nails
Make
sort
a
of
printing
guy?
press while you're at it. Right behind you.
I don't like traveling. We could be walking right into an ambush and we'd never see it coming. Play your cards right, and we stand to make a whole lot of money.
Yes?
Just when you think you're safe, you're not. That's how they always get you.
Can't wait to get out of this goddamn heat.
Clean fingernails. What's going on?
Preston thought you might be able to figure out these plans for me.
Sure thing. Let's see what you've got.
Do you think you can build this?
Wow. What a mess. Looks like, encrypted RF transmissions. Okay, so that gets routed through... What the hell? Teleportation. This is some pretty crazy shit. You sure it's for real?
I got this from someone who should know what he's talking about. Can you build it or not?
Well, yeah. I think so. Anyway, the eggheads never think about the nuts and bolts of actually making something work. But, looks like it's all here. Yeah, I'm gonna need some time to study this thing. The handwriting's pretty hard to make out. But, you can get started on what he calls a stabilized reflector platform. It'll need some pretty high-grade metals, but it's basically not that different than the lining of a jet engine or something like that.
Can you give me a list of what I'll need to build this platform?
Yeah, sure. Here's a list of what you'll need for the first piece. I'm pretty sure we've got all that at Sanctuary, if you want to build it there. While you're working on that, I'll get busy figuring out how to actually build the rest of this thing. Keep in mind, I can already see this is gonna take a crazy amount of juice. Like if you had a spare nuclear reactor handy, we could probably use it. And it's going to be big. So find a nice open building site with lots of power available.
Crop's been growing pretty good lately.
Farming's as honest work gets. Do I look like
What I wouldn't
give
give for a good stiff drink.
Yes?
Work.
You hear about
Do
that
it.
farm
It's
run
as
by
simple as that.
ghouls? Isn't that something?
You know what I call a good day? One that ends without an empty stomach. Yeah? Got work to do. Can't talk now.
Easy living, I see.
hurts.
My feet hurts.
Everything hurts.
Huh?
Yes?
Need
Hi,
something?
how are you?
You got a dangerous look about you. Hope you ain't here for me.
Need
Nothing's
something?
more satisfying than a smoking gun and a pocket full of cabs.
Yeah? Yeah?
How's it going? Did you find a good spot to build your signal interceptor?
Yeah, ready to build the rest of it.
Good. I think I got a handle on this crazy contraption. At least as much as I can tell. Until we actually try to build it, here's a list of 3 things that may be harder to find. I think I'll be able to pull together everything else we're gonna need. I'll meet you over at the building site and see if we can actually make this thing work.
Can you explain how this thing is actually gonna work?
Let me break it down for you. There's 4 main parts to this thing. 1, a control console to input the code and process the signal. 2, what he calls a relay dish. That's what intercepts the teleporter signal. 3, a molecular beam emitter. Gets pretty technical here, but looks like this is what translates your matter into energy for transmission. 4, the stabilized reflector platform that you already built. That's what concentrates and reflects the molecular beam. One thing to keep in mind while you're building this, it all needs to be wired together so all the pieces can talk to each other. I'll see you over at the building site. Good luck.
Nuclear protection on a budget.
Damn. Lost him.
What was that?
You are seriously fucked, you know that?
If it hadn't come to that.
What?
You're dead!
Wow, there's a whole bunch of you out there. For now. Unexpected. Come on, asshole!
Going down.
What the?
Let's rock! Lock and load!
Last mistake!
Pitiful. Dang. Lost it.
Yes.
Hey! They're here! Now, don't start what you can't finish! God, I hope there's a bounty on you. I can carry something if you need me to. Still here?
We're hot! I want this one's head!
I want to be in your shoes. No bravado and no brains, are ya? Kiss it up. Oh, goodbye.
Sweet.
Hope you made your peace. Should have stayed in bed.
Take cover!
We're still here somewhere. Watch out. They're still in one piece. Get some.
That's it.
Going up. Roof access.
Once we got everything in place, we'll have to hook it all up to the same power grid. Just gotta make sure we've got enough power.
Hey, Sturgis.
Everything looks good on my end. You ready to see if this thing actually works?
Shouldn't we test it first?
I wish we could, but we've only got the one frequency code. There's no way to test it without actually jacking into the Institute signal. And as soon as we do that, we've used our one and only chance. As soon as the Institute figures out what we did, and I gotta believe those brainiacs won't be caught napping twice, that code we've got is useless.
I'm not ready yet.
Yeah, that's cool. I'll keep tuning this baby. Although we won't know if it's gonna work until we actually try it.
Heads up.
What you got for me?
Over here.
Can do. Oh boy, that's a lot of metal.
Like a robot. Not too shabby.
Heads up.
Just let
Go
me
check
know.
that out.
Wish I
Check
could
it
help
out.
you.
Look alive.
You hungry? These always keep me going.
I need you to get out of your power armor.
You got it.
Always glad to see the sun come up one more time.
Only thing better than getting pissed is picking a fight. Am I right?
Look alive.
Another
Don't
day
mind
in
the clutter.
Commonwealth.
I'll stop complaining when there's nothing left to complain about. Yes?
Should be morning soon. Don't suppose you'll be making us breakfast?
Lost track of how many blisters I got.
At least it's not raining. Yeah?
If you ain't been up to see Grey Garden, you should go. The whole place is run by robots.
Glad the sun's coming up soon. I don't like stumbling around in the dark.
Hey, Sturgis.
Everything looks good on my end. You ready to see if this thing actually works?
Let's do this.
You sure? Okay. Your part is simple. Just step onto the platform. I'll start scanning for an Institute signal to lock onto. Then, I fire her up and we see what happens. I'm ready when you are. Okay, hold real still. I don't want any corruption of the molecular beam. Oh yeah, by the way, I figured this was a golden opportunity to find out as much as we can about the Institute and what they're up to. Yeah, this holotape's all set with a program that will scan their network and download anything it finds. Uh-oh. Yeah, we better hurry. And don't worry about that tubing wiggling around. It's, just there for decoration. Okay. Scanning for the Institute signal. Tracking RF. And... got it. Hold on to your butt.
Hello. I wondered if you might make it here. You're quite resourceful. I am known as Father. The Institute is under my guidance. I know why you're here. I'd like to discuss things with you face to face. Please, step into the elevator. I can only imagine what you've heard, what you think of us. I'd like to show you that you may have the wrong impression. Welcome to the Institute. This is the reality of the Institute. This place, these people, the work we do. For over 100 years, we've dedicated ourselves to humanity's survival. Decades of research, countless experiments and trials, a shared vision of how science can help shape the future. It has never been easy, and our actions are often misinterpreted by those above ground. Someday, perhaps, we can show them what we've accomplished. But for now, we must remain underground. There's too much at stake here to risk it all. As you've seen, things above are unstable. I'd like to talk to you about what we can do for everyone. But that can wait. You are here for a specific, very personal reason. You are here for your son.
Sean?
Huh? Yes, I'm Sean.
Sean? Is that really you?
Who are you?
Sean, where is everyone?
Father, what's going on? What's happening?
Sean, are you okay? You're not hurt, are you?
What's going on? Father? Father!
Sean, honey? What do you want me to do?
I don't know you. Go away! Father! Father, help me! There's someone here! Help me!
Who is Father? Where is he?
Father? Father, help me! She's trying to take me! Father? Father, help me!
Sean,
S923, recall code Cirrus. Fascinating, but disappointing. The child's responses were not at all what I anticipated. He's a prototype, you understand. We're only just now beginning to explore the effects of extreme emotional stimuli. Please try and keep an open mind. I recognize that you are emotional, and that your journey here has been fraught with challenges. Let's start anew. I am Father. Welcome to the Institute.
Father. That's your name? Your title?
Father is my unofficial title. It's what I've come to mean to the people of the Institute. Just as you are a parent to your son. To Sean.
I'll make this very simple. Where is my son?
He's here, in the Institute. Closer than you think. But I need you to realize that this situation is far more complicated than you could have imagined. You have traveled very far, and suffered a great deal to find your son. Well, your tenacity and dedication have been It's good to finally meet you. After all this time. It's me. I am Sean. I am your son.
How is that even possible?
I know this is a lot to take in. In the vault, you had no concept of the passage of time. You were released from your pod and went searching for the son you'd lost. But then you learned that your son was no longer an infant, but a 10-year-old boy. You believed that 10 years had passed. Is it really so hard to accept that it was not 10, but 60 years? That is the reality, and here I am. Raised by the Institute, and now its leader.
But why? Why take a child? Why take you?
Ah, now that's the question, isn't it? Why me? At that time, the year 2227, the Institute had made great strides in synth production. But it was never enough. Scientific curiosity and the goal of perfection drove them ever onward. What they wanted was the perfect machine. So they followed the best example thus far. The human being. Walking, talking, fully articulate, capable of anything.
Human synths? Really?
Human-like synths. A great distinction. The Institute endeavored to create synthetic organics. The most logical starting point, of course, was human DNA. Plenty of that was available, of course. But it had all become corrupted. In this wasteland, radiation affected everyone. Even in their attempts to shield themselves from the world above, members of the Institute had been exposed. Another source was necessary. But then the Institute found me, after discovering records from Vault 111. An infant, frozen in time, protected from the radiation-induced mutations that had crept into every other human cell in the Commonwealth. I was exactly what they needed. And so it was my DNA that became the basis of the synthetic organics used to create every human-like synth you see today. I am their father. Through science, we are family. The synths, me, and you.
And you've been down here the whole time?
I have. Yes. I know you must have questions. Please. Anything I can do to help you understand.
Your father. He never got to see you grow up.
Yes. What happened to him was... I've gone over the records of the incident, of course. It seems what happened to him was an unfortunate bit of collateral damage. For many years, I never questioned who my parents were. I accepted my situation, and that was that. With old age comes regret. And asking what if more often. But what matters now is that you and I have a chance to begin again. What else can I say to ease your mind?
Kellogg. He worked for you?
Kellogg. He was an Institute asset long before I arrived here. It wasn't until I became director that I learned of all the things he'd done. What kind of man he was.
You knew the man was a psychopath, but you used him anyway?
Would you have preferred that I turned him loose on the Commonwealth? At least keeping him on a short leash kept the collateral damage to a minimum. The Institute took advantage of Kellogg's vicious nature. I will freely admit that. Institute technology prolonged his life, and his usefulness far beyond any normal human lifespan. He never failed the Institute, but his cruelty became more apparent with every completed objective. I won't lie. It's no coincidence your path crossed his. It seemed a fitting way to allow you, us, to have some amount of revenge. What else can I say to ease your mind?
So, you're in charge of the Institute?
I am the acting director, yes. I spent decades working to reach this point. It's a responsibility I take very seriously. The Institute. It's important. It really is humanity's best hope for the future, no matter what those above ground might think of us.
But... director? Why you?
I was the most qualified for the position. Obviously. I've lived my life within these walls. Dedicated to science like every other member of the Institute. My hard work has paid off. Ultimately, the Commonwealth has nothing to fear from us. Whatever you've seen or heard, I know I can convince you of that. Just give me time. I know there's more for us to discuss. But the Institute is on the verge of some important breakthroughs. Your presence would be appreciated as we approach them. I've been a part of something amazing here. I've helped to build a life for myself and the people of the Institute. And now, after all these years, you have an opportunity to help with that. Doesn't that intrigue you? Isn't that what you want?
You want me to stay here, in the Institute?
Yes, that is what I propose. Is it so hard to imagine? The Institute can provide a better life than anything above ground. You've been in the Commonwealth. You've seen what it's like. I assure you that you are better off with us.
How can you say that? How can you be so dismissive of all those people? Everything they've done?
Because it is the simple truth. And I believe you know it too. I simply ask that you give the Institute, me, a chance. A chance to show you what I've been telling you. We really do have humanity's best interest at heart. Will you take that chance?
Are you sure you want this?
Yes, I am. It would benefit us both to work together.
All right.
Thank you. The Institute is now your home, as much as it is mine. Please take some time, get to know it. Meet the people you'll be working with. You'll want to introduce yourself to the division heads. Dr. Fillmore in facilities, Dr. Ayo in SRB, Dr. Holdren in bioscience, and finally Dr. Lee in advanced systems. They've all been notified of your arrival, of course. Meet them, and then we'll discuss what comes next.
Sean, about this synth.
You mean the child? It's a fascinating project, really. There are issues to be solved, of course, but we've made remarkable progress.
Why build it to look like you?
We've advanced the technology behind synths to a point where this struck me as an interesting variation. A new angle, if you will. Modeling it after myself seemed only natural, what with the Institute's records on my genetics and physiology. I'll make sure it's brought back online in the near future. You'll have an opportunity to interact with him further. But I'll admit I'm curious. As a parent looking for a child, looking for the younger version of me, what do you think? Do you think you could love him? Like you would a real boy?
Seriously, you really believe a human could love a synth?
That's a difficult question. I suppose it depends on how closely we've managed to mimic human behavior and emotions. Yours is a unique position. You may be the only one that's truly able to answer these questions right now. I wouldn't claim to know everything you're feeling, but if in some small way the boy's presence can help, I hope you'll keep an open mind.
Sean?
Let your surroundings be a reminder of what science and willpower can accomplish.
It's an honor to have you here, ma'am.
This a clean floor. Are your visual receptors malfunctioning? Can you not see the grime and dust?
Welcome to the Institute, ma'am.
Your presence here is a great gift, not just to Father, but to all of us.
Excuse me.
Father is more than just our leader. He is our creator.
All systems nominal. Carry on, ma'am.
I thought all the surface people looked like monsters, but you seem pretty normal.
Remember to keep unnecessary power consumption to a minimum. Don't recharge unless your primary levels are below 2%. Also, if you haven't patched your navigation software, do so after this meeting. The last thing we need is more synths bumping into walls. All right, that's all for now. You can resume your duties.
Remember,
hey, Doc.
And happiness
it's a real juggling act, trying to keep all the systems down here operating in the green. This place might look shiny and new, but there's a lot of old technology in these walls. I lose sleep worrying about when the next blackout's gonna hit.
How old are we talking about?
Well, the reactor and a lot of the related systems. You know, cooling, monitoring, power distribution. That's all pre-war tech. Most of the superstructure down here was built later, when the people who survived the war. I guess each generation's been tinkering with the place, adding labs, making upgrades, and so on. There's some stuff I need to check on. See you around, yeah?
Almost done. Just need to tighten up this primary drive servo.
They weren't kidding. You really are here. Well, all right. I'm Allie Fillmore. You can think of me as the Institute's chief engineer. When Father told us about you, I could hardly believe it. You've been through so much, I think most people would have just given up. If you don't mind my asking, what was it that kept you going all that time?
What makes you ask? I'm a complete stranger to you.
I suppose when I heard your story, I felt sorry for you. You've suffered more tragedy than any one person deserves. Your whole world is gone. I'm sorry. I know that was a very personal question. Now, I'll give you a quick rundown of the Facilities Division, and then I'll answer any questions you might have afterward. As you might guess, we keep the Institute's mechanical and electrical systems running smoothly. We maintain and upgrade all of the systems that make it possible to live and work in a place like this. There's a lot of machinery behind these walls that recycles the air and water and provides power to the laboratories and quarters. The work we do might not be as exciting as some of the other departments, but it's at least as important. So, now that you're here and you've spoken to Father, does that mean you're on board?
On board with what?
The Institute, of course. Sean implied you operated on a level, if not equal, then at least similar to the rest of us. Curious. If there's anything else you'd like to know about the Facilities Division, I'm happy to discuss it.
Who built this place, originally? Has it been here long?
The construction of the Institute is the work of generations of scientists. The original survivors of the war, our progenitors, took refuge in the basement of the old Commonwealth Institute of Technology. Over time, their sons and daughters dug deeper into the earth and built increasingly sophisticated habitats and laboratories. It's a process that's still going on today. Even now, we're digging out tunnels for new facilities and infrastructure. Just think what this place will look like 100 years from now. I hope I'm there to see it. That's the third primary drive break.
Dr. Fillmore.
I don't know.
Something
Most
I
of
can
them
help
have
you with?
lasted long past their projected lifespan.
I'd like to know about the people in your division.
Of course. Dr. Lawrence Higgs is our mechanical engineer. He oversees the major life support and security systems. Power distribution is Dr. Evan Watson's area of expertise, and Dr. Newton Oberly is in charge of food and housing. He coordinates with bioscience to ensure that our meals are balanced for optimal nutrition. We also make use of a number of synth units for low-priority maintenance and labor. I can't argue with that. Even
There we go.
Hey,
all set.
What do you need?
Unit, you can return to duty.
It must be a challenge to meet the power demands of a place like this.
Absolutely. We scratch and scrape for every precious ounce of voltage that we can. Over the years, we've learned a few tricks that help supplement our power budget. When necessary, we can tap into select sources on the surface. We take only what we need, of course. Fortunately, Advanced Systems is always working on new solutions to generate more energy. It's a good thing, too, because the demand is always increasing. You don't even want to know what a single use of the molecular dematerializer consumes. Thanks again.
Of course.
Why can't a synth be a person too? I don't really see the difference.
Is it true There's food supplement 77 has been discontinued?
That is correct.
That was my favorite one.
If you're looking for my mom or dad, they're probably still working.
I will be happy to forward your request to the Bioscience Division. In the meantime, please feel free to enjoy one of our other nutritious and flavorful food supplements.
I want supplement 77.
I am sorry, sir, but that supplement is no longer available.
Useless machine.
She's been at it for over 2 hours. What is she even testing?
Nothing. At this point, she's just doing it for fun.
Excuse me, Doctor?
Ah, it's you. You're here then. Yes, I know who you are. We all do. While I'm sure Father is very happy that you're here, I do hope it doesn't interrupt our work.
What is it you're working on?
Advanced systems, special projects. You've seen the boy, Synth, already. We've been hard at work on him for quite a while now. Oh, before I forget, let me see that Pip-Boy of yours. I've been told to install a courser chip in it for you. Father's orders. You're to be given full access, with the ability to relay in and out of the Institute at will.
A courser chip? What's it do?
The same thing it does for our coursers. Creates a link to the relay that allows them, and now you, to get in and out at will. In case the significance is lost on you, you'll be the only one here with that kind of access. If nothing else, it should demonstrate the amount of trust Father has placed in you. Now, unless there's something else, I really do need to get back to work.
Tell me about the people in your division.
I'm not sure what there is to say. Dr. Watson is the Specialist Project's lead scientist. He's, how to put it, very organized and precise. Dr. Ormond is one of the youngest scientists in the Institute, and she's something of a prodigy when it comes to physics.
Dr. Lee? I'd like a progress report on your division, if you don't mind.
Taking your new appointment in stride, I see. Very well. We've shifted resources off of other projects, like the Child Synth, to focus on Phase 3. I'm hoping that the above-ground efforts are successful. I understand those depend heavily on you.
Yeah?
Operating at full capacity.
Have you had time to examine my latest reports on Batch 274?
Not yet. I've been reviewing Father's plans to expand our operations at Warwick. He's eager to get that going, so I've had to put everything else to one side.
I wonder how the Warwick family is doing.
Excuse me,
Wally
Doctor.
must be close to 10 years old by now.
So good to have
It's
you here.
remarkable that
Dr.
any child
Clayton
can
Holdren,
survive for so
head of the
long up there,
Bioscience
don't you think?
Division. I can't wait for you to see the work we're doing. It's truly amazing.
Like what?
I was just about to explain that. As the name implies, the Bioscience Division specializes in fields of study such as botany, genetics, and medicine. Our most important directive is to ensure the health and well-being of everyone in the Institute. To that end, we cultivate highly specialized breeds of flora for use in food and medicine. We've even started to explore the idea of synthetic animal life. You probably saw the gorillas. They're really just a pet project at this point, but the potential is exciting nonetheless.
The gorillas are synths too?
They are indeed. Judging by your reaction, we've done a good job making them seem lifelike. The initiative is still in its early stages, but the prospects are very exciting. I'm sure I've taken up enough of your time as it is, but I have to ask, have you decided whether you'll join us?
I'm an outsider. Would there even be a place for me here?
Even if science isn't your passion, there are plenty of ways to contribute. Our projects sometimes require an agent who can work on the surface to observe and gather information. From what I've heard, you are both fearless and resourceful. I think you'd be ideal for that kind of role. In any case, I imagine you'll want to continue looking around. Or, if you prefer, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Is there anything I can do to help out?
There might be. Tell you what, you get settled in, and check back with me later. I'll see what I can find out.
Dr. Holdren?
Good to see you again. Did you need something?
Tell me more about those synth gorillas.
On the whole, I'd say they were a success. Their behavior does generally match what our historical data says it should be. Unfortunately, we had a few early setbacks. The creatures can become suddenly aggressive, and they're quite strong. They destroyed 2 of their synth handlers. So now we keep them in an isolated habitat where they can be safely observed.
Clayton,
Something I can do for you?
you mentioned medical care? I might need that from time to time.
In that case, you'll want to introduce yourself to Dr. Dean Volkert. He's our top biologist and also serves as the Institute's resident physician. Dr. Volkert works in the infirmary. Just pay him a visit whenever you need to. You won't find better medical care anywhere else in the Commonwealth. I'll promise you that. You're here. Glad you made it.
You know the protocol, sir. Authorized personnel only.
Scanning unknown identity.
He can hide in his office.
Clearance.
I'm seriously thinking of heading over to robotics to knock some heads
We're
together.
all looking forward to working with you.
Dragging their feet on
3
the
levels
targeting
of
package
approval.
upgrades
Do
I
you
asked for.
believe that?
Maybe I should take
3.
some courses with me. You know, send...
Doctor?
Please
So,
don't. There's
here
enough
you
friction
are.
as it is
Just
between
Fineo,
us and pretty
acting
much
director
all the
of
other
Synth Retention
departments.
Bureau. I'll be upfront with you. We're going to be keeping a close eye on you for the near future. Despite your relation to Father, you're a bit of an unknown quantity. I'm sure you understand. There won't be any issues, will there?
Why? Don't you trust me?
I'll be honest. You're an outsider. The first outsider to be allowed access to the Institute in quite a long time, in fact. There's little precedent for this situation, so it's only natural to take extra precautions, It's nothing personal, I assure you. Now, Father has asked that I provide you with a brief overview of the Synth Retention Bureau. Our primary responsibility is the recovery of escaped synths that are hiding among the human population on the surface.
Why would synths want to escape?
Synths do not want. They might look like human beings, but they're machines. As to why they're escaping? That matter is currently under investigation. Our main instrument is the Courser, a third-generation synth assigned to operate on the surface. Coursers hunt down and reclaim synths that have escaped the Institute. They are highly self-sufficient, trained in combat, infiltration, and tracking. In a word, our Coursers are relentless. But I gather you know all this, since you've encountered one already. In fact, I'd very much like to know how you defeated it.
Why does it matter?
If there is some defect in Courser combat programming, then it must be identified and corrected. I suppose I'll have to ask robotics to perform detailed diagnostics on the entire production run. As if we don't have enough problems. Now, unless you need something else, I'll get back to work.
If you're the acting head of the SRB, who are you filling in for?
Dr. Zimmer holds that position. He's supervising the retrieval of some of the more high-profile units. In his absence, I keep things running smoothly.
Justin?
What do you want? And please, make it quick.
You mentioned that coursers undergo special training. Tell me more about it.
The SRB constantly monitors our Gen 3 synth population, looking for specific traits. Those who show tenacity, fearlessness, and independence undergo a rigorous training regimen. We teach them armed and unarmed combat, investigative techniques, psychology, and mechanical skills. Those who pass a final evaluation become coursers. The rest have their memories wiped and return to their former duties.
Child synth. It's just remarkable.
Excuse me.
Did I turn off the interferometer?
Justin?
What do you want? And please, make it quick.
I'd like to know more about the synth reclamation process.
Fine. Once a Courser has located a rogue synth, it uses that synth's recall code to wipe its memories and render it inert. We then begin the delicate process of restoring the neural pathways to their original configuration. In those cases where the procedure is successful, the synth returns to duty with no memory of its time on the surface. All too often, we're unable to repair the damage and are forced to dispose of the unit entirely.
Dr. Watson can be a little obsessive when it comes to rules and policies.